So, I thought I'd do a video about how people pass their time, hobbies, and things like that, and how supportive you are of family members who have a hobby you don't particularly like, or how your family members support you in your hobby. Now, me and my husband, we've been together for 39 years, and we've gone through many hobbies. Before I met him, I used to breed cats and show them, and he was into scuba diving, shooting, and I forgot. Oh, model planes. How could I forget that? It's the bane of my life, model planes. So he still makes model aeroplanes, both to fly and just as models, airfix and things like that. I've not owned cats for quite a while. It's very time consuming to show and breed cats, so when we got together, we did start keeping fish. We had quite a big fish tank and some small ones for quite a while. We kept quite a lot of Siamese fighting fish and everyday community fish, and so we kind of did that together for a while. Then I got into sled dog racing. I own sled dogs of my own, but unfortunately, before I could get really into the hobby, I broke my neck in a car crash, and that put a paid to a lot of things I did. I was very much into bodybuilding as well, and of course I had to really stop that. I couldn't do my weight training, so and I do miss that. I miss that, and the dogs. Me and the dogs would walk miles and miles a day, and I was in rehab and trying to get well from my neck injury for 3 years when it was very bad, and up to 10 years before I started to feel better again. I did go back to weight training a little bit, but it's very difficult. And other things we did together really was the bikes. We belonged to the Harley Riders Club of Great Britain. I had a 250 Harley Davidson Trials bike, and we both owned a lowrider custom, which we still have. We've had that bike. I bought that for my husband for his birthday 30 years ago, I think, 31, and we still have it. It's in pieces in the garage, and we're going to slowly start putting it together again. My husband wasn't really a biker when I met him. He soon had to become one. I got him off of the rice rockets and onto a real bike as soon as possible, and we've been Harley riders ever since, and that was some of the most enjoyable time of our life. Great friends, always out, always at rallies, always out at the pub. It was a great time, and but I don't think those times are going to come back, because really, when I think about it, it was the people that we knew then more than what we did. The people really made biking a great thing, and I think being in America, it's a different way. People aren't the same here. When they ride bikes, it's just not the same. I don't know what to say. So we'll just get the bike up together for sort of small rides here or there. My husband was never into sled dog racing. He wasn't into standing in a field with a load of dogs barking. So he very rarely came to the early morning meets and races. I was a little bit annoyed at that, because he used to be with a group in the UK who used to restore military vehicles, things as big as tanks. And I used to go to all of those, and countless times I sat in the back of a Jimmy and bumped along the road and had to stand in field with loads of people in military uniforms and have my garden shed full up with half-track German vehicles being restored. And I would have kind of liked him to have taken more interest in the dogs, because probably if he had, I could have put a little bit more into racing myself. Even though I broke my neck, I could still race a small part, but for me to pack up all the equipment and be sure by the end of the day that I could pack it all up and drive home again with tired dogs and whatever, it was a bit of a trial. So I kind of gave that up. But I just wondered whether or not people are supportive of your sort of hobbies or time wasters. My time waster, my biggest time waster is playing computer games. I used to program in computer games like 30 years ago so that I could play them. And then I started playing silly little games like Age of Empires and Theme Hospital, alien games, hunting games, fishing games. I love fishing. I like hunting on the screen. I'm not so fond of hunting. I have trained hunting dogs. My Labrador I trained as a gun dog, and quite enjoyed that. But I like doing computer games. When my son first got given the game Minecraft, it seems as a silly little game, but I started playing it with my grandson, and I now waste hours at a time making him huge big cities and castles, and I've made him landscapes that go on for miles. It would probably in real time take you years to walk from city to city and to castles and things like that I've made in the different worlds I've made for him, and I really quite enjoy that. It's quite a nice little time waster, and it's time I can spend with my grandkids doing something that we both enjoy. And so I just wondered, how does your family think about fish keeping or spider keeping or anything like that? I think my husband's got into the fact that he would like to do salt water. So when his brother comes over, who's been keeping saltwater fish a lot longer than we have, because we've never done that one, we will perhaps think about doing something then. And perhaps, he doesn't really take much interest in the fish, He doesn't mind helping me clean them out if I can't do it myself some days. But I think he'd be more interested. He really shows a lot of interest to the salt water, so we might have to go there. Anyway, I'd be really, really interested to find out how family members react to your hobbies and whether they think you're wasting your time or it just keeps you off the streets. As you can see, I've got everybody still alive in here. I'm quite impressed. They've got another 2 weeks in here before I move them to the other tanks.